Hi there, Loy Macedo speaking to you from loymacedo.com. Who's Loy Macedo and Think Personal Branding. All right. Um, this is in continuation of my video that I posted the last time as to why Indians cannot succeed or will not succeed on the global stage. And I posted my thoughts and comments. Um, and then I decided that continuing with the series, I would post the second video. The second video is my advice to Indian women. Now, if you search on YouTube, many years ago, I had posted a kind of a roast. My advice to Indian women, my advice to Indian men. Those days, I would say roughly around 10 years ago, I was more experimenting with YouTube. And that time when I saw Russell Peters' videos, kind of roasting Indians and all that, I thought, okay, I'll give it a try because I was new to YouTube. So I posted that kind of sarcastic, irritating kind of a response just to get a reaction. It was fun as long as it lasted. And so, I didn't post anything after that. I had advice to Indians, like Keralites, advice to Indian men, just to piss off people. And now I thought that I would once again post a video roasting Indian women, and I, put up that poll in the community tab. You can check. Do you want to see me roasting Indian women or Indian men? Now, the majority of you wanted me to do that. But then I thought to myself, like, what is the value that I'm adding? Am I giving any value here? So that is where I decided, instead of just roasting and making fun, which doesn't help anyone, why don't I give you something of value that you can actually think about, that you can discuss, you can debate, you can question, okay? And mind you, from the guy that I was many years ago to who I am today, I have a daughter, I have a small baby girl, I have a wife, settled down. So things are different. Today, I'm taking care of my wife financially, and otherwise, I take care of my wife. My wife takes care of me as a housewife. She loves me and takes care of me when I'm sick or anything like that. And having a daughter, I think, changes your role, your responsibility, because now you look at the world in a very different lens. And every time, whatever I do, my daughter is copying me. So I know I have that burden of responsibility where I have to guide my own daughter. And keeping that in mind, I decided I would make a video that I would communicate to my daughter, that I would actually tell my daughter, that I would, these are the values or these are the lessons that I would teach my daughter. So this is me taking the position of being a father figure to a daughter, or an elder brother to a girl. And many people from around the world, ever since those days, today people from around the world, almost every day I have 1 to 3 clients. They ask me from their career to getting a job to resume rebranding, personal branding. And once in a while, I even get girls from India who want to take my professional advice for either relationships or jobs or whatever. So on that basis, I want to guide you on, I'm just going to give you 15 pieces of advice to Indian women. I would like you to tell me where I'm wrong, where I'm right. Feel free to disagree with me, and feel free to correct me wherever I need to be corrected, because maybe I still have a lot to learn, and obviously I have a lot to learn. But with regards to these points that I'm giving you, maybe I'm wrong somewhere. So having said that, these are the 15 points. Like I say, the timestamps are put down below on each point. Feel free to switch over to whichever point you want, and let's have a healthy discussion. Okay? So this is my advice to Indian women, specifically Indian women, because I'm an Indian passport holder and I know little bit more about the Indian culture than any other culture. Okay. So the first one, my first advice to Indian women is, please accept the fact that you cannot change India and you cannot change Indians. And I mean this literally. You cannot change India and you cannot change Indians. And by that, I mean you cannot change the Indian mentality. See, as it is, to change one person is impossible. To change your parents is a Herculean effort. To change your entire family is another impossible task in itself. And now, trying to change the entire society, trying to change the entire community, trying to change the entire, locality, trying to change, and the entire nation. Yes, it sounds very romantic. It sounds very brave. Oh, we will change the world. We will do this. We'll do the Greta Thunberg thing and revolution. And someone, in some extreme cases, you have like the Nirbhay rape case and all that. See, what happens is you make a lot of noise. Yes, there is awareness being made. There is awareness being created. Yes, that issue is being dealt with. But then, unfortunately, it goes back to the same situation once that issue has been sorted out. And there is not one issue. There are so many bloody issues that it is impossible to deal with each and every one. So you can either choose one issue, and then your challenge would be you'll have to dedicate the rest of your life. You'll have to ignore everything else and dedicate the rest of your life to that cause. And then even after you do that, there's no guarantee that that cause is going to be achieved or you're going to achieve success. So my first advice to all Indian women or girls, you cannot change India. You cannot change Indians. There are just too many people. There are just too many rules. There are too many regulations, and there are too much of stupidity filled in too many stupid people. It's that bad. So if you are prepared to dedicate the rest of your life without any financial benefit, without any career advancement, without anything worthwhile, only then try to focus on one agenda. But if you have multiple number of agendas and multiple number of things, and you have your own personal goals and personal dreams and personal ambitions, then you cannot. So my first advice to you is you cannot change Indians and you cannot change India. It is impossible. The only change you can make is to you yourself. Okay, that's point number one. Point number two. Now, this is a fact. Okay, the second fact you could say is you're sadly being a girl. You are born in a man's world. Now, what do I mean by that? See, look at the rules of society. Look at the traditions. Look at the customs. Look at the religion. Everywhere, who's the alpha species? It's the man. You have priests who only a man can become. You have certain temples where only a man can go. You have even imams, even priests, even Christian. You have tradition where the man is superior. You have customs where the man has to take the leadership role. So, fortunately or unfortunately, this is how the rules are. And you just cannot change it. Like, I mean, yes, I do see sometimes on the internet, oh, they have a lesbian wedding, Hindu lesbian wedding. Oh, they have a gay Jain wedding. These are just novelties. These are just one rare episode. I mean, can you seriously think about having a Jain wedding or a Hindu wedding where you have gays and lesbians? I have nothing against them. I don't mind. You can have LGBTQ. You can marry a goat. You can marry a horse. You can marry an object. I seriously don't have a problem. But you're talking of India. And that also, you're talking of a place where, forget India, it's a man's world. I mean, who are you going to fight with? How many men are you going to fight with? And how many concepts or perceptions are you going to fight with? Like for example, in a Hindi movie, it's always the man who is the hero. I mean, show me how many movies come out where the female is the hero and she's protecting the man. Show me. Show me where the female is taking care of everything and the men are happy. Those movies don't prove to be a hit. In fact, even if you look at internationally, whether movies, even wrestling, for example, WWE, they always have a man's the premier event. Even sports, men's sports pay more than women's sports. Okay, because people want to see more of the men compete. It's an unfortunate thing. Yes, you can make a lot of noise about we women deserve better pay, but then the demand for it, you can't force people to buy tickets. The number of games men play, the number of sponsors men's even get, you just can't help it. So the unfortunate thing is you're born into a man's world where, like, I'll give you in India, a very simple thing. A guy, you have a young boy who is only going to be 18 and he decides to go to a pub with his friends. Okay? It would be considered normal for a boy. Tell me how many families would be very happy to know a girl went out drinking with her friends, gang of friends, the whole night. A boy can go the whole night, come back. The parents are not worried. Why? Because they'll be like, even if he does have sex, he's not going to get pregnant. Girl goes out the whole night. Well, the fear is always, oh my God, what if she gets pregnant? See, so it's a very unfair thing. It's a very unfair, and that is why the absolutely horrifying reality that a girl child, if you, in fact, there is this documentary. I don't know if I'll get the name. This lady in India was actually given an interview, and she admitted that her husband would have divorced her if she gave birth to a girl child. And after every time the child was born, if it was a girl, she would strangle the neck and kill the baby, the child. And she has killed 8 children, 8 babies, 8 babies, and she has buried them. And she's actually admitting this on camera that I have strangled the neck, I've suffocated and murdered my small baby. And I was jaw dropped. I just like, what? And she said, if I don't do that, my husband will throw me out. We live in such a sick society where, when my daughter was born, how many Indians, it's only Indians, said, oh, you deserve it. You got punished. I was like, what the fuck are you talking? What punished? I'm so fucking happy. I wanted a girl child. My wife wanted a boy. I wanted a girl. And they're like, you deserve it for being a playboy. You got punished. The way they were talking is as if I got cursed. And in fact, there are some Indian people who even said, Loy, good, you got a girl. Good. Now, when will you get a boy? Loy, you must get a boy, to continue the name. Fuck the name. Who wants the bloody name? I'm very happy with my daughter. I am not looking for continuing the name and legacy and all that bullshit. So this Indian kind of mentality added with this man's world concept, it's very unfortunate. It's seriously unfortunate. Okay. So the second thing that you'll be fighting and facing with it's a man's world. Okay. So this is the second point, this advice that I'm giving you, which you cannot win. You cannot win. And even if you try to win, the chances of you winning, like, for example, show me how many CEOs are women. How many? Show me how many female athletes get paid more than men. How many? 1 in a billion, 1 in 7 billion, 1 in how many? So what are your chances? You need to be realistic, right? Okay. Now, advice to Indian women, number 3. Now, this is a fact. It's sad, and you're going to hate me for this, but you will never, and you can never become better than a man. Now, what do I mean by this? Can you be smarter than a man? Yes, of course. Why not? There are many women who are smarter than men. Okay. So you can be smarter than a man. Okay. Can you get paid more than a man? Yeah, chances are there. Chances are there. I'm not saying you cannot. Are you less competitive? Can you be more competitive than a man? Yes. So everything I'm admitting. Okay. There are YouTubers who are better than male YouTubers. There are Twitch streamers who are better than males. Obviously they are, showing a little bit of their body and they're being cute and all that. Fine. So I'm not saying in every place they keep showing their bodies and all that. There are women who are successful, like the IMF, International Monetary Fund, that female, she's from South India. She's a friend. She's the daughter of my friend's relative. Okay. So I'm not saying that you cannot become better than men in certain categories, but in the majority, I'm talking of 80%, you cannot excel and become better than men. I'll give you examples. Physical training. Can you compete with men? Physically, impossible. Majority of the careers, military, police, engineer, not that engineers as in, diagrams and all that. I'm talking of like fire engines, law enforcement. All these places, it's only reserved for men. See, there are some things which women are very good at, and there are many things men are good at. Men have been traditionally and biologically hunter-gatherers, so they are born tough. For you to compete with men in these categories is hard. And then there are also areas which women excel at, which men cannot. Like, for example, empathy, love. That's why nurses, a male nurse is very rarely heard of. Females do much better. But where cold, calculated stuff of like engineering, you'll see majority of are men. Now, there have been attempts to try to equalize this. It doesn't work out. There are some things which women are naturally good at. Like my daughter, I'll give you a very simple thing. My daughter, I have no issues. I'm telling you on camera, if my daughter watches, I have no issues if she becomes a lesbian. I have no issues if she wants to be a lady boy, if she wants to be a transgender. She can be whatever she wants. However, I will do my best to guide her. Okay, I'll do my best. And if she says she feels like a transgender or something, I'll obviously look into medical options. If just a 3-year-old, if suppose she tells me, Dad, I feel like I'm a girl trapped in I'm a boy trapped in a girl's body, it's a medical issue that has to be treated. I'm not going to say, oh, sweetheart, you feel like you're a boy. Come, let me give you hormone blockers and let me have a sex gender change. No, all that bullshit I'm not going to do. I will approach it properly. But what I'm trying to make you understand here is, I will give my daughter the freedom to choose what she wants and make those decisions at the right age. Until then, I will guide her. Okay. So, but if she wants to take on a role, let's say she wants to be a fighter, let's say Muay Thai fighter, she is Thai, and she wants to fight in the men's category, you seriously think that's smart? No, there's a women's category for that. Let's say my daughter says, okay, I want to be an engineer or an astronaut or a CEO of a company. Fine, you can go there. But the chances of her succeeding, I will realistically put it to her, are very, very slim. Why? I will tell you more about it later. So, because there are a couple of points. So, the exact point which I'm trying to tell you is, there are some things which women are good at, some careers, some professions. You have to choose only that. Don't choose the ones where you know for a fact you're not going to succeed. And the sad fact is, the majority of them are meant for men to succeed. Whether it's football, whether it's hockey, whether it's sports, whether it's movies. Okay. Then point number 4 is, this is also a really sad thing, is for women, your demand or your value decreases with age. It's just what it is. See, when you're 20s, a lot of attention, a lot of people want to know you, get to know you, marriage, this and that. 30s is also fine. But once you cross into 40s, once you cross 30s, it becomes challenging. Unless, of course, you really maintain yourself, you do exercise, you keep yourself physically fit, you are very sharp. And on top of that, the responsibilities that you have are not diverted towards family and kids and other priorities. And yeah, that is if you're single. But if in case you're married, you have children, you have to pay the bills, you have to look after your family. It becomes very, very hard. See, on the other hand, for men, as they become older, their value increases. Look at jobs, look at the way jobs pay. Look at same thing with women. Men get more openings than women. Look at whether it's even marriage. How many men at 50, 60, even 70 can easily get partners? How many women in their 40s, they're literally struggling? See, this once again is the way our society works. And this is something that you'll have to contend with. Okay? You might not like what I have to say, but this is the bloody reality. Your value decreases as you become older because physically and biologically, it's a challenge for you. That is why someone in their 20s, if they exercise, versus someone in their 40s or 50s, if they exercise, the person in their 20s will recuperate faster. Person in their 50s takes time. And then if you factor in man versus woman, the woman has much more to contend with than a man. A man can take testosterone shots, but a woman can't do that, right? So point number 4 is your value will decrease faster than men, especially with time going by. Point number 5. Okay. Now, this one I think will hit Indian girls straight it's like a nail. It just hits the nail on the head. Indian women are very confident. Indian women are pretty good with their ability to talk. Indian women are very good at debating. Indian women are very good at arguing. Indian women have good experience. Okay, the ones who are working, they're very competent in their jobs. I'll give you that. They're much better than men. Okay. However, now here's the part which you're not going to like. That doesn't make you special. Now, why am I telling you this? I get so many girls who send me their resumes, so many girls who want to apply for jobs in Canada, United States, UK, Dubai, the Middle East. I straight away tell them, see, listen, you're smart, you're confident, you have good ability to talk, debate, whatever. But then that doesn't make you special. See, you're just factoring that the job that you currently have, which gives you this position of confidence, that doesn't mean any other company is going to give you that. When you compete, here's another thing. The preference always goes to a man. Men are very insecure. This, I'm telling you, being a man myself, men are very insecure with women who are smart. And most of the men, majority of, especially our Indians, they do not want a exceptionally smart female. They don't want a female who is bossy. They don't want a female who talks, who knows how to argue. They just don't want. Like me, I'll tell you, me personally, I just don't want headache. I really don't want headache. I would rather have someone who's submissive and quiet. Why do you think I married my wife? Very submissive, very quiet. Less headache for me. Just imagine me being moody, me being creative, me being, an aggressive guy. If I got an equally aggressive partner, I mean, the house would be destroyed, So I was very realistic with my choices. See, how many partners end up with, partners means man and woman, end up with people who they fight day and night. I mean, it saps out your fucking energy, man. So even with women, the ones who have the confidence, ability to talk, debate, argue, the sad fact is you're looked upon as, oh shit, man, I wouldn't know how to control her. I don't want drama. I don't want headache, because it's very hard. It's like having a wild cat, So this actually doesn't make you special. It actually can and will be used against you. And that is why in positions where they're looking at a female, they're looking at someone with experience, but someone who's like timid, quiet, who takes instructions, does her work, and doesn't offer much of a challenge. They will not say this. They will not admit this. In the real world, they'll not. But this is the reality there. Then point number 6, okay? See, when you're young, when girls are young, you can do a lot of things, okay? It's like the world is your oyster. You can do everything. But as you get older, one by one, the door shuts down. Now, does that mean, is it because your ability is decreased? No, it's because your responsibilities are increased. From being a girl who's single, your mother and father are taking care of you, brother, sister, so you feel, oh, I'm confident, I'll be an astronaut, I'll be at this, I'll be at that. Then marriage takes place. Once you get married, it's the girl who gives birth to a child, not the man. It's the girl who has to be hospitalized, not the man. It's the girl who has to carry that life in her stomach, in her womb, not the man. It's the girl whose body gets cut open. Just imagine your body gets sliced and cut open. Who gets damaged? It's the girl who undergoes hormonal change. It's the girl who has to breastfeed the child. It's a girl who has to take care of the child 24/7. This is the sad reality. It's a fact. You can't help it. So when you're young, you don't have all this. But as you get older, you'll get all this. And then after that, you have to take on the mother's role. You have to take the role of being a wife. Then you have to take the role of being a mother. And then you have to take the role of being a homemaker. So there are so many things that work up against you. Unless, of course, you get a husband who's ready to sit at home and you can focus on your career, it's going to be impossibly hard. And then on top of that, you have parents and in-laws and society that will tell you, no, we expect you to do this and do that. And see, here's the thing. When you're young, you can go for exercise, you can go to have keep fit, and your body supports it. But when you're older, you will not even get time to breathe, let alone forget going to exercise. So, at point number 6, what I want to tell you is, when you're young, you can do a lot of things, but as you get older, it's going to work against you. Point number 7, I think this is the latest trend that is taking place. You look at the West, most of the girls in India are looking to the West, getting inspired, motivated, and wish to change. But you keep forgetting that either you can either choose West or you can choose East. You can't choose West in East. See, as long as you stay in India, your Western antics and your Western strategy and your Western style and your Western concepts can only be taken to a certain level. As long as you stay in India, India with its thinking, its mentality, they say the Indian mentality, it's Indian man, you'll always meet a bloody jackass, you'll always meet an idiot on the road who will tell you, "Hey, excuse me, this is not what you should wear. You should not wear this. He's a fucking idiot." But it's not just one. There are so many like him. Now, does that mean you don't do what you want? No, please feel free. Wear jeans, wear hot pants, show as much as flesh you want. I have no issues. I'm telling you, I absolutely, even if my daughter tomorrow starts wearing sexy dresses, okay, I'll not have any issues. But as long as she stays in my house and I'm paying the bills and she's under my roof, she has to follow my rules. But the day she's looking after herself, the day she's independent, she can put whatever the fuck she wants. You want to go topless and wear just a thong or walk naked? Fine. You're earning your own money. Do whatever the fuck you want. I have no issues. But when you're staying in my house with my earnings, me taking care of you, you expect me to feed you, look after you, you follow my rules. It's as simple as that. You want your stuff, you want to do your life, you're welcome to go out of my house, earn your own, do your own things. It's very straightforward. See, even with you, the thing which I want to tell you is, if you want to copy the West, be prepared for the same rules, because you cannot expect to stay in a traditional, very narrow-minded society or a locality, with the majority being, their thinking is prehistoric. They are outdated thinking, and you'll put, sexy dress and this, and I expect them. No, you have to accept me the way I am. You'll get some paranoid mental case who will just try to harm you or hurt you. This nearby murder case is such a shocking. It's a very intriguing episode that I want you to see, where this guy who has raped these females, they are actually saying, imagine these men are actually saying, I had to teach her a lesson. Can you believe this? The guy is telling the reporter, I had to teach her a lesson, and so I raped her so she would learn the Indian values. You are dealing with such sick individuals. So are you prepared? Are you prepared to face these kind of people? You'll say, Loy, I'm not going to live in fear. Fine. But then you're inviting danger. See, you need to be smart. If you are jumping into a pit filled with snakes, get ready to be bitten. Then don't complain about it. So all I'm saying is, if you are prepared to fight against the whole of society for the rest of your life and pay a price for it, you are welcome to do what you want. But if you want to, like I told you, my daughter, if she wants to stay in my house, me look after her, under my expenses, my earnings, then you follow my rules. So same thing with you. If you want to live in that society, then you can't be westernized and expect to live in East. If you want to follow everything of the West, go to the West. Nobody will say a thing. Okay? Point number 8. This one. This is equal rights to a man. See, I'm all for women being treated equal to a man. I'm all for men and women to be paid equally. I'm all for equal opportunities. Okay? However, if you want to be treated equal to a man, then be prepared in the good, the bad, and the ugly. Don't just expect to be treated equal to man only in good things. Like when they say, we want equal opportunities for women, we want women equally represented everywhere. Then women should equally be represented, not just as CEOs, not just in high-paying jobs. You should equally be represented where sewage cleaning is there, toilet cleaning is there, military is there, the jail victims, who a majority are men. You should be even in the bad and you should be ugly. You keep harping that you want to be treated equally like a man, but then when men get aggressive with you and I don't know, things get bad to worse, then you play the victim card. No, sorry, don't do that. If I start saying, hey, fuck you, I'm going to fight with you, I show the guts and this and that, and someone takes a knife or a gun and surrounds me, then I can't say, no, please, sorry. No, you either go all the way or you don't go. See, the problem is you want the best of all the worlds. It doesn't work out that way. See, even for men, we have to contend with really bad stuff. Maybe we don't talk about it. So if you want to be treated equally like a man, you tell the guy, if you sleep around, I can also sleep around. Fine. I want equal rights. Fine. Then in that case, don't expect a guy to show, pay your bills. You pay half the bill. Don't expect a guy to pay the bill. You should be able to do whatever the man is doing and then demand respect. See, respect should be earned, not demanded. Okay, keep that in mind. So if you're asking equal rights to a man, then along with the rights come the responsibilities. Along with the responsibility comes the shit and the bad and the ugly stuff. There, don't play the victim card. Okay. Then point number 9. This one I would tell you is very important for you women. Please seek a support system. Normally, girls and women have their parents. Okay. Bless them. Parents do their best. Okay. Sometimes parents put their daughters on top of their head and make them feel they're God's gift to mankind, which is unfortunate. Some of you have your brothers, some of you have your friends circle. It's good. It's good to have such a support system, but just make sure that support system is not misleading you and telling you shit. I have so many parents who, my daughter is so smart. Loy, my daughter is so smart, so intelligent. Oh my God, if you see her painting, Loy, oh my goodness, oh shit. Loy, you see her dancing. Loy, her debating skills are fantastic. I give them a checkmate by asking them one simple question. Just one. They say your daughter is smart, drawing this, that. Loy, she can give you advice. I just ask the parents one question, just one. I ask them, how much money is your daughter earning per month? How much? How much does she have in the bank? If she does not earn more than me, much more than me, she through business or whatever, if she doesn't have big savings, then I'm sorry that whatever smartness is there is of no use. What is the use of being smart when you can't monetize it? Because we dedicate our whole lives to working. See, most of the adults, where do we spend most of our time? Working. We are slaves to work. And why do we work? For money. So today's day and age, yes, you can be a great chess player, you can be a great painter, you can be a great singer. But then if you're bankrupt and you're not making any money, you'll be a beggar on the road. These are hardcore facts. So here, the support system that you're going to get, please make sure that they're not fanning your ego. The support system that you have should be a group of mentors, should be a group of people who guide you towards competence and towards making sure that you're successful in the real world where money is concerned. If that is what you have, great. If you just have a support system, Beti, you can do anything you want. Beta, believe in yourself. This is all fucking bullshit. Okay. So please have a proper support system. Point number 10. Play the game the way the game should be played with its own rules. See, just as you cannot play football where cricket is concerned, you can't keep kicking the ball, and you can't go to football and take a cricket bat and say, no, I want to hit the ball with a bat. In the same way, if you're entering a particular industry, remember there are certain rules which are not spoken. For example, in the media, I met so many girls who want to be famous movie stars, who want to be famous celebrities. Parents have come to me and said, my daughter wants to be a celebrity, Roy, can you guide her? Straight away I ask them, how many men are you ready to sleep with? Straight, I explicitly, right on the face, are you ready to sleep with 5 to 6 different men who are old enough to be your grandfather? who are ugly, who are fat. And the girl goes, what? Yeah, are you ready for a man when he is asking you to audition? He'll touch your boobs and you put his finger in different parts of your body. You get horrified. Do you know in these Miss World, Miss Universe contests, this actually happens? Are you aware that during auditioning, how many casting directors, how many directors, how many producers, how many even lead actors ask them to sleep with them to do sexual favors? I have clients and customers who open up to me. These, these girls who get Miss India, Miss World, and Miss. Don't think it's just hard work. Don't think it's just, oh, she's so smart. Oh, she prayed to God. I'm sorry, but they don't tell you the real stuff. I have contestants who were there, whom I was in touch with and who literally told me what was told to them. Okay? I'm very much aware of what goes on. And if you do not know, I don't know which world you are. So the point is, if you're getting into media, there's a dark side to it. If you're getting into corporate world, there is an ugly side to it. Like, for example, do you know that in some of the airline industry, to get cabin crew, I'm talking of the biggest names in the airlines, biggest names. Do you know you have to sleep with the boss? Do you know you have to sleep with your colleagues? If you have to get in the popular circles, these are unspoken rules. These are facts. So don't think for a minute that there is no ugly side. The ugly side is really bad. And see, you can make a noise and shout and scream, but if you want to remain part of the industry, you need to play the game the way it is played. Point number 11. Okay. Please choose your battles carefully. Okay. See, let's say, for example, you're at a workplace and your boss tells you, okay, sexually you have to sleep with me, only then I'll do you the favor. And then what you do, you decide to make a big ruckus, big noise on social media with evidence, and you destroy the guy's career. Fine. You have won the battle. But long term, you will lose the war. Because now all of a sudden people will, fuck man, this girl she will fucking destroy. And they'll gang up against you without saying it, and you lose your career, you lose everything. So you'll win the battle, but you lose the war. So is that what you actually want? So all I'm telling you is choose your battles carefully. Which one do you want to win? Short term or long term? And you have to be very smart about it. It's not that I'm going to tell my daughter, if someone, tries to do something bad to you, just keep quiet, take it on the chin. No. Don't get me wrong. It'll be depending on situation to situation. But you need to know where you have to fight. For example, here in Thailand, I'll give you a very simple thing. Do you know that if you make a person lose their face by insulting them, maybe short term you'll win, but they never forget. And some of them go to the extreme where the party that has been insulted or hurt, they will come and kill you. They'll not only kill you, they'll kill the entire family. And they would rather spend their entire lives forever behind bars, or because for them, their respect is more important than anything else. So just imagine the most peaceful culture where Buddhism is concerned, and meditation and taking care of life and the animals and all that, and then Muay Thai, which is the most violent sport in the world, to the sex industry that is there. So please keep in mind, choose your battles very, very carefully. Which one you want to win, short term or long term? Then point number 12. This one you may not like, but the stuff your parents tell you that you're special, impossible is nothing, believe in yourself, you can do it. Sometimes you need to really evaluate yourself. It sounds good, but you need to have a sense of realism. Most of the things your parents, your brothers, your society, your well-intentioned people, even the internet tells you this feel-good motivational stuff is just bullshit. The world we live in is a very dark, dangerous, and a deadly place. It's the survival of the fittest. Yes, it feels good that believe in yourself, hope, pray. I don't think Indra Nooyi and Angela Merkel and all these Indira Gandhi and all that, they are one. Please keep in mind, they are one in around 7 to 8 billion. So just imagine the odds which are there. Coming to that, I think the next point will equally sit well. Follow the law of numbers. Always ask yourself, what is the chance of you winning? 50 to, is it 50%? Then you have a 50% chance to win. But if you have 3 people, if say 3 people, you have 30% chance. You have 4 people, 25% chance. Okay. So always follow the law of numbers. If you have one person, Oprah, now Oprah is one in how many? It's in a generation. There's never been a woman like Oprah over the last 100 years. Okay. Then let's look at like Indra Nooyi. Okay. There's one, I don't know, in ages, in 100 years, Indira Gandhi. So if you're taking that one person out of 9 billion or 8 billion or 7 billion people, that also once in 100 years, are you that once in a generation, once in 100 years person? Just factor in, there are so many girls who apply for the same job that you're applying and you're competing with men. There are so many young girls, experienced girls. Girls are coming with references, contacts, connections. The girls are ready to sleep around. You'll be competing with them for everything that you do. So always keep the law of numbers and be realistic, because I think you need to really ask yourself, what are the odds? And when you put numbers in the equation, you'll come to know the real situation. Okay. Point number 14. I think these are the 3 traits of Indian women that destroy Indian women itself. One is jealousy, one is envy, and one is gossiping. And you can put the 4th one, that is not minding their own business. Women, I don't know, especially not only women, but our own Indian women, they have this bad habit of, jealousy, being jealous of other people, being envious, gossipy, minding other people. Oh, usko dekho, kya dali, hi Ram, this and that. So maybe you're not the one. Maybe you're not the one who's doing this. But then if you have others who are doing it against you, you cannot succeed. So that's a real bad thing. And women tend to share this more. And sadly, Indian women share this much more against Indian women itself. So point number 14, be aware of this. And last but not the least, the climax. Please keep in mind that it's the most unfortunate thing to say, but our Indians backstab Indians. This is the magnum opus. It's the saddest thing to share and say, but I can tell you without a doubt, and it's a fact, Indians backstab Indians, and that is why Indians cannot succeed. And that is even more greater why Indian women cannot succeed. You have a look at anywhere, politics, you have a look at relationships, you have a look in your family, you have a look at your friends, you have a look everywhere. Indians backstab Indians more and much better than anybody else. You don't have to go and get a foreign power. Our Indians will only do it. So these are the 15 pieces of advice that I would give Indian women. And like they always say, the first step is awareness. Then the second part is preparing for this awareness and being realistic about it. And the last one is developing a strategy, how you can overcome this to achieve your goals. So this is what I wanted to share with you. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? And if you agree with what I have to say, please let me know down below. And even if you disagree, please feel free to tell me where am I wrong, so that maybe even I can correct myself, because I myself am a father of a daughter. I guess I have to do my job. Having said this, this is me once again sharing my views. Let me know what you think. Signing off. Take care.